Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for social media and marketing tips and tricks. I'm Amy Stack, and today we are recording Ask Amy, a bi-weekly session offering a place to bring your questions concerning our marketing topic of the week. Today's topic is direct mail campaigns inside the Keller Williams Command system. Before we get started, if this is your first time here and you want to learn more about marketing and social media for your business, go ahead and start now by subscribing to my channel. Just click that red subscribe button and then make sure to click the bell icon to receive new content notifications. With that, I think we're going to jump right in today. I know we did a tutorial last week, which some people may have watched and some people may not have already. So I would love for you guys to either unmute or put in the chat if what your experience has been with campaigns so far. Have you guys actually used them, and have you watched the tutorial, or are we just kind of starting fresh and this is our first look at it today?
Hey,
First look.
First look, okay. Fresh, okay.
I watched the tutorial. I thought it was great. I have a couple questions, but I'll hold them for later.
Wonderful. So it seems like maybe a couple on each side, a few fresh in the chat. Just discovering your channel. Well, welcome, Veronica. Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
I'm fresh too.
And
Yep,
Laura,
I'm fresh
great.
too.
Thank you so much. Keep spreading the word. I love sharing. I want, my goal is to help you guys have insights into all the things you have access to, whether it's Keller Williams specific or not. I don't just do Keller Williams training. This is, a specific thing for KW today. But all the strategies would be applicable for any marketing purposes. And I want you guys to be able to implement that into your business to make everything a little bit more streamlined for you so that you can focus on your revenue generating activities and build a life of purpose. Sound good? We all on the same page?
Yep.
Good. All right, then why don't I go ahead and start sharing my screen. And I'll start right from the beginning, since it seems like there's a few people that haven't really looked at direct mail yet. I'm just going to show you how to get to that point. Then we'll just answer some questions that people who have already watched the tutorial have, and then we can go from there. I'm sure we'll get more questions that pop up organically from that. So I'm just going to pull up my command and share my screen. And find the right screen. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, let me reopen the chat too so I can see if you guys have any questions. So feel free to keep typing questions in the chat. I do have that open as well. All right, so I have logged into Command. I'm just on the main screen right now, and I am in a demo account. So every now and then there's something a little bit different in my account than you'll see in your own account. To start, I just want to remind everybody that you want to make sure you're using Chrome. And if you're running into any glitches, clear those cookies or try an incognito browser. Those are the best steps for always checking anything that's maybe acting a little funky with Command, because they're always updating it. So clearing those cookies will allow the new content and the updates to push through. You can always click on this red square in the top left and it will open up our little panel on the left here so that you can actually see the words that go with all these icons. And for direct mail campaigns, can anybody guess what icon we're going to?
Campaigns.
Good job! Yay, Patty! So we're just going to click on campaigns and that'll take us right in. And I know it's really tempting to click these buttons at the top. These will only bring you to campaigns that you've already started. So if you're starting from scratch and you click on this, nothing will come up. So if you're starting a new campaign, you want to come to the big blue button that says create a new campaign. So before I click that, I do have some sample ones set up. So I'm just going to click direct mail so you can see what it looks like when you do have some going. You can see all mine are in draft. I haven't sent any. Now, if you have actually sent them, it will tell you the process at where it is, if it's just been pushed through or if the mail's actually been sent, so you can track that as well. And then you can click these three little dots to come in and edit your campaign. If it's one that you've ran and you found it to be successful, or you really like the layout and you just want to update a couple of things, you can just duplicate that and then you don't have to recreate everything from scratch. And then you can archive it. So if you don't want to see it on your dashboard here, it can just go away. All right, now I think Diane, you said you had a couple of questions already, so let me start with those for you.
Okay, well, the one I had was when you actually go in to the campaign and you know how you can choose your, where you're mailing it, and then there's a map on the right side with dots?
Yeah, in the targeting section.
The targeting section. Well, the dots, you can remove a home
Yes.
from the actual mailing, but is there a way to add a home that
Ooh,
does
add
not have a dot?
specific one. I
Yeah.
have not discovered that. I have played around with it. I have not discovered a way to do that yet. That would be a really good thing to reach out, either check, you know, I didn't check answers.kw.com. That could be a place. And if you guys aren't familiar with that site, if you just go to answers.kw.com, there's a ton of information in here. You can see command support is the first option. So you can go through, and there's a whole bunch of different articles in here, and they also have screenshots. So I just want you to be aware of that resource. But you can always check that site, and you can always email support. It is, I think it's just KWRA. Oh, somebody's getting a call. I hear you. It's just support@kw.com. And they'll be able to let us know that too. And like I said, Diane, that is something I played around with, and I personally have not figured out how to do a specific one other than kind of playing with the map and changing the filters enough to make it go towards that one specific dot. But what Diane is talking about here is when you're in targeting, you can change how many homes, you know, you can go up to 5,000 postcards, zoom in and out of your map. I'm on Texas for some reason. This is my zip code for my market center. So if I want to target around my market center, it'll take a second. It'll pull. I'm doing 5,000. That's a lot. But you can, here, let's make that smaller. You can do all properties, single family, multifamily. You can narrow down by bedrooms, by square footage, year built. So if you know you're targeting people that are living in older homes to come to a, you know, more modern one, you can do that. Or maybe people that live in vintage homes want to stay in that vintage style, so you can target that. I really like this last sold filter, because does anybody know how often people tend to move? What the time range is on that?
Isn't it 7 years or 5 to 7 years?
Yep, I'm gonna say it's about 5 to 7. It probably changes a little bit across the country, but for us here, it's about every 5 to 7 years. So if you want to change your last year sold to the last, you know, 10 years or so, maybe not do the last couple of years, right? Because they're probably less likely to move, and that way you can optimize your dollar a little bit more. We could do, you know, 2010 to 2016, or everybody, you know, back like this. So that'll do kind of a fun little targeting for you. And let's see. The other one on here is how much it last sold for. So you can target, that's a way to kind of target price ranges. So if you have a great house that's a starter home, or a, you know, empty nesters are moving down, maybe you want to target a higher end that's, you know, maybe looking to downsize a little bit. Or on the opposite side of that, if you have a higher end home, maybe you want to target homes that are lower and they're thinking maybe it's time to upgrade, you know, families growing, better jobs, all that kind of stuff. So you can use the pricing filter for that. And then at the bottom, you always have the option of standard or first class mail. I shouldn't say always. On the small postcards, you'll only have first class on those 4x6s, but on the bigger ones, you can do either. And it will show you at the bottom the price change between the two. And standard mail just takes a lot longer to go. So if you're doing something that's a hot ticket, like you want to get the word out, you're going to want to go for the first class mail, you know, those just solds and just listeds. But if you're doing something, if you're doing like a monthly mailer and you're planning this out ahead of time, just make sure you plan to allow a couple extra, well, it's like a week longer for the postage for the mail system to push it out. And you can save that money and do the first class, the standard mail instead of the first class mail for a lower cost.
Amy, I'm cheap. So can I do it by email rather than by postage?
Not with this particular direct mail campaign. So there are email campaigns, and it is connected to MailChimp right now, but all of this section is specifically for mailing out postcards.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then I see some questions that came through in the chat. Let's see. When you do a direct mail through Command, there isn't a choice of vendors, correct? Only Real Mailers. Yes, that is correct. Keller Williams has partnered with the company Real Mailers to send out these postcards. So if you are wanting to work with another company, unfortunately you can't use this targeting system. You can still make a design inside Command Designs and send that to your own printer if you want to do that. And some of those people might have, you know, everybody will have their own pricing. Because Keller Williams is such a large company, Real Mailers did give them a great discount. So everybody that uses it gets the Keller Williams discount for printing. So you're getting the best value that that company has to offer us.
And I actually did compare prices, Amy, just
Yeah.
for the fun of it, to see what it would cost to print it at Staples and mail it myself.
Yeah.
Actually, this way through Command was cheaper. So.
Well, that's great. That's great feedback. One of the other companies, if you are looking for another one, or maybe you're not from KW on this this Zoom today, I like Quantum Postcards or Quantum Digital. It's the same company. They have two arms of printing services. They have really good, they have really good pricing for all of their print jobs. So even if it's not a postcard, Quantum is a great company to use for printing. And then, like I said, they have a specific portion of their company that will do postcards as well, so they can help you with targeting and addresses and stuff too. Let's see, a couple more questions came in the chat here. Ooh, they're all coming in so fast. I have a question about, okay, somebody, JM, question about database targeting. Did I answer that? No, we didn't talk about database.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
It's about instead of using this local. Yeah, the other option, which is, you know, you can send it to your database by using the tags or by selecting, you know, just picking up their names or just typing the name of the contacts in Command.
Yes.
Our concern is if example, it's a couple, we're gonna send to one household, but in the database, there's a couple like the husband and wife, let's say Jamie and Erin Adams. So there's one profile for Jamie, there's one profile for Erin, but both of them have the same email, the same mailing address. So that means if we might send out 2 cards to one household, and
it shouldn't let you do that because the system won't allow you to have one address in there twice. So the address will be tagged to either the husband or the wife in that scenario.
Does it show like a pop-up like, oh, you have a how do I know that that command is not sending?
When you're entering your contacts into Command, it won't allow you to have a duplicate phone number, email, or physical address in 2 different contacts. So a lot of times when people have their husband and wife, or, you know, any 2 people that live in the same household, you have them as separate contacts because they have separate phone numbers and separate emails. However, you'll only be able to have the address assigned to one of them. And then you can link the contact in the relationships. You can say, I'm sorry, I forgot what you said their names were, but you can say, you know, Jane is Joe's husband or whatever the case is. So the address is only in the system the one time then.
Okay. Next is, all right, if the thing is though, that because those, the husband and wife is a different profile. The thing is, if it goes to one address, it's just going to be sent to one. So example, the couple is Jamie and Erin Adams. So if we're going to send out a mailing piece, we would like to address it to both of them, Jamie and Erin Adams. But since we're only sending one out, it's only, what if, like, if it takes out the address of the wife, then it's just Jamie Adams. It's not addressed to both.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's, maybe the workaround there is changing the profile name to Jamie and Erin Adams.
Well, so that's one, but I'm wondering, I'm trying to pull it up real quick here. So when you are doing targeting, and like if you've ever used Smart Plans, we have the merge field option. And I'm not sure if one of the merge fields is relationship tagged. Does that make sense? Have you used that, the merge fields at all?
Yeah, we've used the merge fields in the smart plan, but I don't recall seeing a merge field here.
Okay.
And yeah.
That's one of the things that I don't know if I can show you today, because we, in the demo account, we don't have any addresses associated with anybody. So what I'm gonna just kind of tell everybody that isn't familiar with what you're saying right now is, once I'm in my campaign, if I've set everything up, I can come to this targeting section right here. And what I was just showing you to answer Diane's question was the local targeting. So that's where we saw all the little dots on the map, and those were all the homes in the area. The other option you have to do is to target your database, which is what's your name? JM?
Yeah, Jan Michael.
Okay, welcome, John Michael.
Because one of the reasons is like my agent doesn't want to send in a neighborhood because, you know, we don't want to, what's the point in sending newsletters or postcards to agents, you know, like, so what we do is say example, we want to target a specific neighborhood. So first we check out who are those agents in those neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why we do that. We do the database tagging. So because we're not going to include agents in the database, so it's just going to be, so you're just going to spend money sending
Right.
agents. Yeah. So that's the reason why we are doing the database tagging.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So sometimes you want to canvas an area and you want to get people that you're not already connected to. And in that case, you still don't necessarily want to send it to agents, which there's pros and cons of doing that. So you can always work on growing your downline, right? Getting the word out there, letting people know that you're doing business can help get you more respected in your community with the other agents as well. But then you can, if you're sending it not through targeting, just through that local, not through your database, just through the local targeting, if you know the addresses of the agents, you can just unclick their houses. So that's one way to do it. But of course, that's not going to your specific, your target audience that's already in your database. So like I said, I haven't been able to play around too much with the tagging of the database just because we don't have any addresses in our demo account here. However, I would be happy to explore that with anybody that wants to, use their account instead of my demo account.
Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, what John Michael was talking about here was that when I click target my database, if you guys have your contacts tagged, you can actually search by a tag, which I don't think, I can show you what it looks like, but I won't be able to actually add anybody. So when I hit add contacts here, these are all the tags I have in my database. And I can search for a specific one. So like this is my office. Oh, apparently we don't have that tag set up. Just kidding. That's in our Command MC account. So if I wanted to, here's KWPP agent. Oh, I missed a word, that's why.
Amy, what does that mean there, the checkbox, include shared contacts?
So
what does that mean?
If you're on a team and it's shared with somebody else, that'll show, so like, if you guys have team commands, sometimes person A will go in agent A's account and person B will go in agent B's account. And if they're labeled as shared, then if you check this shared box, A and B will both be able to see each other's contacts.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with, I'm searching by name, not tag, that's why. Here we go. So if I click that tags button, it will show me all the tags I have labeled my contacts in my database. So I can search for just, ooh, wow, that's fun. There we go. I can search for just that one tag. And then you can see that only that tag has popped up. What you'll notice on my screen right here is that there's this little triangle with an exclamation point that says that the mailing address is missing. So I can't actually add anybody to the campaign. If your mailing address is not missing, you can just hit select all or select the individual boxes, and that's who the postcard will mail out to. So that's really good if you're doing like a client event or something, appreciation event, or sending holiday cards out to people. You can use this to do that. All right. Anything else on that topic while I have the screen open?
I'm good, Amy. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. One of the questions is cost of real mailer. Oh, actually, it was Veronica was asking Diane about you. I think your cost comparison. Oh, I see. And you answered. Thanks. You guys are so great. Let me come back right on the screen. Actually, since we're talking about costs, when you do start your postcard, it will show you on the right-hand side if you are using the templates that are built into this campaign system. Right here, it will tell you what the cost of those postcards will be. So you can see that I mentioned earlier the 4x6 postcards only have one sending option, so you can only send them first class, and it's 59 cents a postcard. That includes the printing and the mailing. And then as you go down, it increases because the cards get bigger. Let's see. What would you suggest for a newbie like me to start out? What about flyers? Oh, okay. So flyers will be in the design section. And Julie, we can come back to that in a little bit. I want to make sure that we get all the direct mail questions answered. So if we have some more time at the end, I would be happy to show you a little bit about designs. I do have a video on my YouTube channel. I've got two. I've got an intro to designs and designs beyond the basics. So if you go to my recorded class playlist, there's 2 hour-long classes on designs specifically in there for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Amy, question.
Yes.
Do we get a report like, okay, like, or an invoice or receipt that, hey, you sent it to, your mailing piece was sent to these houses, you know, with the address 100 houses, and then
I was
it's like
just talking to somebody about that. I need to go into somebody's account that has actually sent some. I have sent them for agents, but I need their permission to go back into their account. I know that when let me come back to this campaigns button. We're gonna leave. I don't need to save this.
you explained it earlier. Well, don't explain it again. I'll just look.
No,
I'll just look up for
I,
your.
That's okay. I
Recording.
didn't explain it earlier. I just wanted to show you.
Oh.
So when this comes up, it will show you that it's sent, so you'll know that it's mailed. However, what I'm not sure about, because I need to go into somebody's account after they've actually sent a campaign, is to see if you can get an actual list. Now, you can go back to that targeting section and it will show you every place it was sent to, but that doesn't help if you're I mean, it helps, but you really want an actual like printed out list, or, you know, see a full rundown instead of having to hover over each little dot. So that is something I haven't quite gotten to that point to explore. Once things have been sent, if you can print out a list of everything every location it was actually sent to. Let's see.
All right, thanks.
Sure. I'm having trouble adjusting the size from a design and command that I created. Okay, so Jackie, that's a great question. Is that about postcards specifically?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me come into design. So I'm going to leave the the campaign portal that we're in right now. I'm going to go 2 icons down and just go into designs. And right here, you can see I have a postcard test already set up. So all I had done to do this was go to the plus sign, and then I did print, and I chose a postcard design. I don't want to redesign one, so I'm just going to open this one I have started. Perfect. Okay, so I didn't change any of the sizing in this. This was already in designs for me, and I just updated the content I wanted shown on here. Okay, obviously I didn't really update it that much. I was just using it as a sample. What you do to make sure that your postcard is the right size to put into the campaigns is when you hit download, first of all, you want to make sure it's a PDF, and then you need to come down to the publish settings. I always recommend using this high-res print quality, but I'm guessing you're getting an error message saying that your postcard, your file is the wrong size to upload into the campaign. Is that correct?
Well, I designed, it's a 6x4 standard postcard, but I want it to be like the jumbo size.
Ah, okay, so that's a little different. Okay.
Okay.
Let me show you guys this trick first, and then I can talk to you about that a little bit too. So no matter what size postcard you pick, you want to make sure when you are downloading it from the design section, and this is only if you're not using one of the templates provided in the campaign. If you want to do your own custom one, you can absolutely do that. So I've come into designs, I grabbed a template, I customized it, and now I'm ready to download it so that I can then upload it to the campaign. You're going to hit download, click that PDF option. I like to do the high res print quality because we're printing. And then you want to come down here and click use manual bleed. So if you guys are familiar with when you print in the office and you have an image that there's color that goes all the way to the sides, and then you print it in your office and there's that white border around it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yep. Okay, so this will prevent that. Using that manual bleed is going to let the color go all the way to the edges. It actually adjusts the file size a little bit so that the file is a little bigger, so that when Real Mailers gets it, there's room for them to cut off the sides so that your color can go all the way to the edge of your postcard. And that is why sometimes it will tell you that the file size is wrong, because it's just doing the inside of the cut line and there's nothing for Real Mailers to cut off that extra. So always make sure you're using that manual bleed when you're going from designs into a print system. Now you won't be able to use that feature on your own personal printer unless you have like a higher end printer, but if you're sending it somewhere, whether it's using Real Mailers like this, or you're going to Staples or FedEx or anything like that, you can add that manual bleed and they'll be able to cut it nice and clean right to the edge of your color for you. And then the question that Jackie was actually asking was about resizing a design. So right now, there's not a way to actually resize the design. What I usually recommend doing is having your design open. So you have a 4x6 and you want to make it bigger, but you don't want to have to recreate the entire postcard, right?
Right.
Okay, so these are all jumbo. Large standard is going to be your 4x6. So you started with one of these, right? Well, I'm guessing you didn't use one of the designs in here. Otherwise, you could just hop over to the right size. But let's say.
Yeah, I did not. I have a custom design.
Okay. So let's say.
So I don't have to redo the whole custom design, you know.
Right. Now it's going to take a little bit of finagling, but what I usually do is pretend this is your custom design. I have it open. And then, oh, I gotta move my window a little bit here. I'm gonna open a second window in Command. Okay. Make this a little smaller here. And I'm also going to go into designs for that. So you have one, it's a 4x6 now, and you wanna make it a jumbo. Okay, so there's two things you could do. You could either start a blank jumbo template, or you could open one that's already the right size and just delete the content that's in it. So I'm just gonna hit plus. And if you guys aren't aware of how to make a design from scratch, all you do is go to this import PDF and then hit next. So right now I'm just gonna start a blank template. So right here, we have this option that says start from blank. I'm gonna hit start. And then you see we have the custom size option, but we also have a whole bunch of standard sizes that are frequently used. So here's the standard postcard. You can see if I hover over it, it says that's the 6x4. And here's the jumbo, which was the 11x6. Is that the size you said you wanted?
Yep.
Okay, so just click on jumbo postcard and it's gonna open up a blank template. So that's step one, get your blank canvas ready. Then in your first picture, your first design that was your 4x6, just copy everything. So highlight it all. And then I just do Control-C on my keyboard. If you're on a Mac, it's going to be the Command-C and then Control-V. And you'll see it's not formatted for the right size, but then you can drag and so here's the edging right here, right? So we can drag the corners to where it needs to be.
Amy, doing that, will it keep the resolution?
It depends on your images. So the ones that are already in Command, yes. If you have high-res images, it should keep it just fine for you. If you are not using high-res images, it's probably not going to work. But your campaign, when you go to upload the file, will tell you if it's too low res. You'll get an error message and it won't let you send.
So there's no way you're gonna accidentally send like a poor printout.
It won't let you. No.
Okay, good. Thanks.
I went off my screen here. Yeah, it does have safeguards around that. So at least this way you don't have to recreate the whole thing from scratch, but you are going to have to play around a little bit with resizing. And then obviously, you know, a 4x6, the ratios aren't the same as a 6x11, right? Or an 11x6. So I could stretch this out, but you can see my photo, I'm going to lose some of the edges there because it wants to keep it in the best ratio possible. So you'll have to play around with that a little bit too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
If you guys use Canva, so I use Canva Pro. So if anybody on here is using that, again, that's a lot of people outside KW use Canva. If you have the Pro account, you can resize inside Canva Pro. So you do have to have the paid account for that. And I can put my affiliate link in the chat or in the description of the video if you guys are interested. I think it's like $120 a year for it. And I do like using it for things that I can't do in Command, like making animations and video posts for social media too. So I can go ahead and put my link in the description of the video when I upload it. But yeah, it's nice. The Pro account is nice because it lets you, so if you started with that 4x6, you could say make a copy in a different size and it would just do all the resizing for you. I'm just looking through the chat here.
Amy, if you create something in Canva, can you then upload it here? And you would just upload you'd go to your files and browse your files and just upload it like you would any other PDF?
Yeah, so just like you would upload if you made your design inside Designs and then download it and upload it, you would do exactly the same thing from any other design software. So if you like using Adobe or Publisher or anything like that, you can make your designs in your preferred platform for designs and just upload it right into the campaign here. So I'm not going to save that. I'm going to come back into campaigns because I see a couple. I see how do I send out in my neighborhood? And then I see some more talking about pricing. And then I see, is there a way to target apartment/rental properties? So that's going to be in the targeting. So let me get back into the campaign section and I can answer some of those questions for you. And then I do see, Veronica, you brought up a good point about EDDM. So that's every door direct mail. And you can do that through the USPS. There are EDDM companies that you can pay that do everything for you. And that's going to cost a little bit more than if you go and work with the post office directly. Talk to your brokerages and see if they have the bulk mail discount stamps. That's another way that you can get some discounting on postage. But you can work with the post office directly and do every door direct mail where you will address all of your mail, you'll prep all of the mail, and you'll actually bundle it by route and provide it to the post office, and they will then send it out for you and give you a discount because you're doing all that extra work. But it does take longer. It's more of the standard than the first class mail. I'm not 100% sure on the time frame on that, but I know it does take a little longer. So thank you guys for bringing that up. That's a great tip for direct mail.
One thing about EDDM is that you can't exclude houses. That's the only.
Yes, that's a good point as well. Yeah. So yeah, if you're really wanting to target specific homes, that's not going to be a good option. But if you're working to farm and canvas your neighborhood and really get your name out there and just, you know, keep up that, you know, top of mind marketing, that's a good way to do it at a low cost. Okay, so I'm going back a couple of questions in the chat here. Okay, how do I send out in my neighborhood? So I'm going to go back into my campaigns. I'm just going to go to some that I already have drafted. So when you have your campaign ready to go with all of your content in it, and you get to the targeting section, you can target a specific area. So you'll have this search bar right here, and you can, so Julie, you said, what's your zip code? What's the neighborhood you want to send it to?
My zip code is 27215.
So if I type that zip code in.
Do you need, do I put my address in there or my street address?
It's up to you. So it depends on what the goal of your mailing is. So if you, are wanting to target around a listing, you put the listing address in there, right? If you're wanting to farm, then yeah, you want to put an address in there that's in the middle of your farm. So is that right? Is Glen Raven, North Carolina, the right town?
No, it's Burlington, North Carolina.
Oh. Let's try that.
Burlington.
There we go. Oh, I guess it thinks it's the same thing. Does that look right on the map?
Yeah.
Close. Okay, so
yeah, I don't see my. If I just put Winston Drive, maybe it's Winston Drive, Burlington. Get really specific.
There we go. Oh, let's try that.
That's it.
There we go.
Okay.
So you just type in whatever area you want to target right there, and then adjust your homes first, right? So let's say you want to send it to 250.
Okay.
That'll give us some more dots.
I've never done this before, so just starting out, you know, I mean, kind of like, what would be good just starting out for a flyer? Or I just got my business cards also.
Oh, so not just new to KW, but new to real estate. Well, welcome. Welcome to the industry. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
This is something that, especially right now, so if you guys are thinking about getting into direct mail, it is definitely something that you're going to be investing money into without typically seeing a return on investment right away. This is more of a marketing than a prospecting piece, meaning it is to get your name out there. It's to get people to know that you exist and you are a realtor and you're the, you know, local agent of choice and the local expert. It's not necessarily going to bring in those leads. So you cannot rely on this specifically or solely. You can't rely solely on direct mail marketing. You need to pair this with your calling, with your door knocking, you know, with reaching out to local vendors in the area and doing those referral business ideas. So you don't count on this 100%. Yes, eventually it will start to bring people in. Yes, you hear stories about that all the time where, oh, I sent out, you know, a postcard because I had this great listing, or I had buyers that were looking in the area and somebody was looking to sell. That does absolutely happen, but don't count on it happening every single time. This is, yeah.
I just started putting my, I mean, is my business card gonna be linked or just on a flyer, or do I can pick something like that, or just.
When you are doing the postcard design, all of your information will be on it. So the ones that are templated in here will have a spot for your name, phone number, email, all of that.
Okay.
They also have a QR code option if you are using the templates in the campaign. So another part of Command is that you can make landing pages. So when you make a landing page, you can link it to the postcard. So when somebody scans it, they can get information about a property or how to download your app or something like that.
Okay.
And you can link it to a landing page that is requesting their information as well. So you can get a form with you know, their contact information, and then that will actually feed right into your Command database because it will be coming from a Command landing page. So that's a nice little perk about it as well.
Great thing. I just thought it'd be a good way to get my name out there without.
Yeah. I do think it's a good way.
And then do like a follow-up afterwards. You know, they see me first, the mailing, okay, she's safe. I see her coming up, knocking on the door, type of thing, you know?
Absolutely. It's a great way. Just like when you're doing email campaigns, you want to send out the campaign and then you want a follow-up touch. So you send out your postcards and then you go do your door knocking, or you call them and say, hey, I sent out these postcards last week. And they're like, oh, okay, that's right. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, it's a conversation starter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a great way to announce yourself to a neighborhood. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. All right, let's see. Fabian, is there a way to target apartment and rental properties? So the only way right now in here is the single family or the multifamily through this targeting system. If you have people already in your database and you've got them tagged as rentals, people that are renting or not, you can use the tags in your database instead of the system general local targeting here. You can purchase lists like that. You can get lists out of Remine. I know that you're in our MLS, so Remine will allow you to pull some lists like that as well. And I believe it's free. It might be free up to a certain point. I'm not 100% sure. They just kind of changed how their partnership works and the cost of that. But Fabian, definitely look into Remine. Check with some of maybe the ALC members at your office, and I bet they'll be able to help you out with that. MRED has a ton of free training online in Main Street too. I'm guessing you're a member of Main Street. So they'll have a bunch of resources for you to learn how to use Remine and get those names. And then he said, if we can't do that through here, is there a way to just have mailers printed? Okay, so not through this part. You can absolutely go into designs and design a postcard and bring them to a Staples, or like I mentioned before, like Quantum Postcards, Quantum Digital, anything like that. Or even Vistaprint. You can print postcards through Vistaprint and then just have them sent to you. So at least in designs, there's tons of great templates, so you don't have to design something from scratch. You can just drop the information in that you're looking to add and spend a lot less time on it. So I hope that helped answered your questions. If not, just let me know. I'm going to keep scrolling down. The demo account is haunted. Yes, my screen had a little seizure there. Can we go through the QR code? So I'll go ahead and show that. And Diane, yes, you should be able to draw a specific area on the map for targeting. So that's what this is here. So this red button here, if you know you want, whoops, come on. Why am I'm doing something wrong?
Oh, I think if you plant it someplace and start drawing.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was doing. There we go. It thought I was holding and I wasn't trying to hold. So you have to click and release, and let's say I want, this, whatever shape this is here. And then you close it and it will target specifically in that area. And if you want to adjust it, you just hit that little eraser and you can start over. So that's a really good tool if you're like, well, I know I want, under Church Street here, and I want to run all the way through here. Whoops. So this will pair nicely with next door neighborhoods. So if you want to draw an outline of your next door neighborhood instead of an entire zip code, you can do that like so. Look at how easy that was. So that's how you can draw on the map. Good question. And then April, I'm going to come to your question about the QR codes. So I think I might need to start a new campaign to do that. So I'm just going to hit create new campaign. I'm going to do direct mail, and we'll call it, what's today, 8/20? April, yay. Okay, so you pick whatever your goal is. Let's say we're doing brand awareness. And then for the sake of time today, I'm just going to use a default template that's already in there. I'm not going to upload anything. And then we'll hit set up campaign. So you'll choose whichever template you want, enter the information in that you want. So everything, it's always asking for a listing address, and that's because that's where it's targeting. But you can always change the targeting later on. We're just going to put my office in here. Okay, so we'll skip that because we really just want to get to the QR code. So you would fill all of this information out. And here on the right, we have QR code. So right now you can see that tracking is off. If I click this toggle, it'll be green, and I now have an option to select from this drop down here. Now I have some landing pages already created in this account, which is why there's a drop down menu. So if you don't have a landing page set up yet, nothing will show up here. So I want to try, let's try an app download. So what will happen is a QR code will go on to my postcard right here. And if anybody has their phone, they want to open up their camera on their phone. When somebody scans it, you'll get a little, I don't know if you can see if I hold it like this. You can see I got a little notification. And if I tap on it, I gotta unlock my phone. It's loading the page that it's linked to. So it's prompting people to download the app because that was the landing page I chose. April, did you have specific questions about that? Can I go into any more detail on that for you?
No, that's good, Amy.
Okay,
I just
perfect.
wanted an idea how to use the QR code. Thank you.
Yeah. So since we're talking about QR codes, I showed you how to do this in through the design with a template that's already in the system. If you want to add a QR code to a custom design, you can absolutely do that. You just need to make the QR code first. You can't do it like here where it was just hit the button and it pops in. So I also have a video on my YouTube channel about how to make QR codes. So I can link that in the chat, in the description of the video as well. But basically, if you just Google QR code creator or generator, you can find one where you just, all you need is the link to what you want it to go to. And some QR codes will also let you link actual file download options, all kinds of good stuff. So you can create those outside of Command and just load it into your design as well. Real quick, somebody in the chat asked about this class being recorded. They know that they were late. So yes, this is being recorded. It will be on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/thesocialstack. So that should be up on Saturday for you guys.
Amy, can I ask a question? When,
yes, Charlie.
Let's say the QR code takes me to the app like I just did, will my command tell me that somebody did that?
Yes, it should show you it. Well, so if they go through with it and set up an account, you'll get it as a lead that somebody created an account through your app. So they have to go through the whole process. They can't, if they scan it, it won't send you an alert, but if they scan it, download the app and make their account on the app, they will show up as a contact, as a lead inside your command portal. Same thing if it's going to a landing page and they fill out the lead form on there, they will also go into command as a lead automatically.
And website is a good landing page?
It depends, you know, it all depends on the goal that you're going for, what you're advertising on your postcard and what the end goal for your campaign is. I always recommend doing a landing page that has some sort of lead capture on it. So our KW sites do have contact forms on it. I would just make sure it's going to a page that specifically has that contact form big and bright and obvious at the top versus, you know, something that they have to scroll way down to get. And since we have a couple minutes still, do you guys want me to do a real quick landing page to show you how to throw one together? Okay. So this is gonna be real quick. Remember, it's recorded. You can come back and do this. Also, anybody in my market center or my group, Tanya and I can do landing pages for you. We just added it to our menu of services. I think it's $15 for us to make a landing page out of the standard widgets. So if you want to leverage that out, we're here for you. All right, so I'm back to my main screen here. Well, I'm still in designs, but you can see I have all my icons on the left. I'm gonna come all the way down to consumer. I wanna point out that it's 10:52 right now. So I'm gonna hit consumer. Show you how fast this goes. I'm gonna hit create a new site. I want a standalone page for a landing page. Create the page, name the page. I'm going to put a branded header in there. I want to put a lead form right at the top. I want to put a listing information. Nope, I changed my mind. I don't want to do listing. I want to do local neighborhood expert. Then I want to put, nope, I changed my mind again. I don't like that. I want market snap. Then I want to put a legal footer. And I want to configure my widgets. Oops. Must have, there we go. Save and apply. So you can see I have Glen Ellen right here. These are all my stats for Glen Ellen. Let's go look at my other widgets. Save and apply. Right here, interested, let's talk. Learn more about living in Glen Ellen, save and apply. There's the outline of the whole town, the stats of what's going on. This is dynamic, it will update. Then I've got my link that I've already programmed in there, my legal footer, publish page, yes. And here is my landing page. It is now 10:54 and I have just created a landing page in 2 minutes. What do you think about that?
You're awesome.
Now you can do a lot more. You guys saw there are a lot of different widgets on there, but this is just a basic one. So if your postcard is talking about the area, maybe you've figured out that people from the city are leaving, right? Everybody's mass exodus from Chicago. Glen Ellen could be a great place to move to. So maybe you want to target some people in Chicago and talk about how awesome Glen Ellen is and what properties are available. Set up a little landing page with the information about the area. And then I put that lead capture right at the top for them. So that if they want to hear more about our area, they can put that in and your information will go right into your command account. Look at that, less than 2 minutes. All right, so let's see here. Answered. Yes. I want your help to create a landing page. Oh, okay, so if you guys are in the E2P offices, you can email me. Or so if you're Geneva, Downers, or Glen Ellen, I will help with your marketing. It's Amy Stack at e2psuccess.com. If you're in Aurora, Plainfield, or Naperville, Tanya will handle your marketing. And you can just email me and I'll send you her stuff because her name is hard to spell. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. Thank you guys for all your thank yous and thank you for subscribing. Feel free to share. I love to have people in. It is 10:56, a couple minutes. I am going to do a Master Your Marketing next week, which is still August, so it will still be at 10 o'clock next Thursday. We're going to do virtual tours, virtual open houses. So I know I talked about that back in March, but I figured it's a good topic to revisit with everything that's going on. Anything else I can answer before we hop off today? No? Okay, so I'll have the recording up by Saturday on my YouTube channel, and you guys, since everybody who registered will get an email of the recording as well. If you guys have topics that you're interested in hearing more about, please feel free to reach out to me through email, comment on my YouTube channel, or come to my Facebook page and let me know. I'm always willing to take more topics and create some good stuff for you. So thank you all for coming, and remember to go like and subscribe. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.